Christian Whiton, former State Department senior advisor and author of Smart Power, Between Diplomacy and War, and currently principal at DC International Advisory, and joins us from Los Angeles, California. Christian, good evening to you. So everybody's talking in flowery terms about probably clinching a deal, but I mean, last time they came so tantalizingly close to winning concessions from Iran, but the sticking point was Tehran's insistence that they reserve the right to enrich radioactive material. If they retain that right, then we're kind of back to where we've been, right?
Well, the risk remains that Iran could get either a uranium bomb or a plutonium bomb if you allow either of those two lines of production to proceed. But I think what the administration is offering and what's likely, frankly, accepted this week is something that doesn't stop Iran from spinning those uranium centrifuges that it has at its Natanz and Fordo facility, and that allows its Bushehr plutonium-producing reactor to continue to operate. One of the sticking points was over a reactor at Iraq that also could produce plutonium. That's sort of the one issue of contention. But Iran is probably smart enough to take this deal. It's the deal of the century, as Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu said, and it provides an amount of sanctions relief that's been estimated by some to be as much as $20 billion a year. It's a pretty good deal for not having to give up that much.
Christian, do you really believe that this, I mean, I know the rhetoric and the tone out of Tehran has changed dramatically since the days of Ahmadinejad, but do you really believe the new administration is really that warm and cozy? I mean, we've heard some pretty toxic language coming out of it.
I don't, and we've seen this before. We've seen it in other parts of the world with North Korea. I was there at the State Department in the last decade when the Bush administration thought it had the deal of the century out of Kim Jong-il, and we've had two subsequent nuclear tests that disproved that. Also with Iran, we've been through this before. In the 1990s, there was a supposed reformer, Khatami, who Bill Clinton decided to engage. And, this is fundamentally the same regime that took power in 1979 that wants to export its Islamist revolution, that has done tremendously evil things, like stringing together groups of young children to go out and clear minefields in war. And it's bent on dominating the Middle East, its neighbors beyond, dominating Lebanon, and bringing war to Israel's doorstep. So I don't think there is anything more than a change in tone. I think it's the same old evil regime that's bent on getting a nuclear weapon.
But surely, Christian, they have to take a cue from what's been going on in Syria. I mean, that was an example of progress. Bashar al-Assad did make concessions, and they became really very real, tangible, quantifiable concessions. Surely the story of Syria in the last few months is not lost on the Iranians.
Well, I don't know what Assad gave up in terms of chemical weapons. He actually hasn't handed over any chemical weapons. They've destroyed some machines that could be used to make more. But Assad basically has been able to merrily pursue his war against his own people with Iranian assistance. So Iran looks around the region, looks at the U.S., which did go to war in Libya, but didn't do so to advance U.S. national interests. It did so to enforce the writ of the international community, is what President Obama said. Iran can look and see the U.S., see Washington pushing away from other allies, reaching out, embracing adversaries like it, and it interprets it as weakness. It's a big green light that it can pocket a bunch of aid, say some pretty things, and then keep doing what it's done all along.
Christian, great talking to you. Okay, I'll see you in these parts as soon as possible. Christian Whiton joining us.